Dobro ranku. So yesterday saw the phone call for 90 minutes between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. This is the too long didn't read version, just a very quick summary. What actually happened, what came out of this phone call concretely in terms of a ceasefire? Do we actually have a ceasefire in Ukraine, in the Russo-Ukrainian war? And the very short, abrupt answer is no, niet, ni. What we have in principle is a cessation of targeting of energy infrastructure by both sides. I suppose it was a bit unclear to me where that comes into effect immediately, because shortly afterwards Russia took out the power supply in Sloviansk, which is a city in the east of Ukraine. So that's a little bit even ambiguous on that point. But in principle, this is something that Volodymyr Zelensky actually offered, maybe it's almost 2 weeks ago at this point, as a first step. He said that they would not target Russian energy infrastructure, is basically their ability to export their natural resources, Russia, and then get very much needed foreign currency in order to fund their war effort and their economy in general. While Ukraine, it's more about the power supply, especially in the cities. It can also be used obviously in factories and other things. And Russia has been trying for 3 years to basically take out the Ukrainian power grid. They have been unsuccessful. We are in the springtime now. See a little bit of sunshine behind me, and that is the case also in Ukraine. So we're already past the depths of winter, so probably on balance this cessation of targeting probably favors Russia in the sense that, well, now they'll be able to make a little bit more money, and I guess Ukraine doesn't have to repair its energy infrastructure as much. However, it probably would be more in Russia's interest slightly. And in any case, the war goes on. There's no ceasefire. That's the key point. Absolutely no ceasefire. And the Trump administration basically strong-armed Ukraine by cutting off their military support and the intel and the satellite and coverage that they were receiving from the US at a moment when suddenly Russia launched a major counteroffensive in the Kursk Oblast, which is a region of Russia that Ukraine has been occupying since last summer, and they took back most of that occupied territory. So if this is the result of all these endeavors by the Trump administration to basically get, in principle, a cessation of targeting of specific energy infrastructure, it is very far from an actual ceasefire, and it doesn't even look like it's holding up already. And both sides anyways, they could just stock up their munitions for the month, whatever, wait till they don't have this cessation and then start blowing up all the stuff that they didn't blow up for a couple of weeks. So not very much real progress. The other things that were actually agreed was a prisoner exchange between Russia and Ukraine is supposed to take place today. That's great news, of course, to see those POWs go home to their respective homelands. However, that's something that goes on periodically throughout the war. There's no real connection with a cessation or the ending of the war or anything like that, but it is some good news that came out of the phone call, that announcement. Maybe Russia would have exchanged them anyways, maybe not. Maybe they threw that as some sort of offer to, or it's not really concessions, they're exchanging both sides, the prisoners, but something that they could talk about. It wasn't actually mentioned by Donald Trump or the White House. That part of it is in the Kremlin readout from the call. And Donald Trump was excited to talk about an upcoming hockey match between Russia and the US. So yeah, that's the level. We've got the biggest war in Europe since World War II, that if you're talking about the fact that you want to have a hockey match, which seems very inappropriate anyways in the current circumstances, that really sums up that not very much was achieved. And yeah, that's the too long didn't read version this morning. And I'll be back later in the day with more in-depth analysis about what has been going on with that call and after that call and the reaction to it by political figures. Other things that came up yesterday was Germany passing a major expansion of its basically military industrial complex. Russia, they're going to spend a lot more money on national defense going forward. So I'll be back later today. Down below, obviously, you can hit that subscribe button. Been building up this channel. My name is Connor Klein, and this is Geopolitics with Connor Klein. And here we talk about the happenings of the Russo-Ukrainian war. I've been living in Ukraine for many years, speak both Ukrainian and Russian, and I'm an expert in international relations, I have an academic background in the topic with a specialization in this region. Little did I know when I was studying that I would actually live through this conflict. So, see you later today. Do побачення. Слава Україні!